calls. But tonight, I don't know if I'll get any.
Kaieteur Radio, 99.1 FM.
A pleasant good afternoon to you and welcome to your main newscast right here on Kaieteur Radio. I am Joshua Van Sleckman. In our headlines this afternoon, bet on agriculture to beat resource curse, according to Professor Terence Blackman. 10 most gruesome murders in 2020 still to be prosecuted. Natural resources sector faces skill shortage as Guyanese focus on business, not on oil or mining, according to Minister Barath. A mother of 6 fears for her life, complains of emotional torture by abusive lover. You get the details of these stories and much more when the news returns.
Introducing the new Digital Prime bundles. Better than anything we've ever offered before. More music on D-Music. More messaging on BIP. More radio streaming on Go Loud. More storage on Bello. More control on My Digital app. With the new Digital Prime bundles, it's never been easier to get more digital experiences. Plus, extra data. Get 30 gigabytes with a 7-day Prime bundle for only $2,000. So much data, so much fun. Buy in My Digital app today. Digital, better together.
Weak systems of governance and the absence of the rule of law both combine to form the perfect stage for corruption to flourish. As part of our anti-corruption fight at Kaieteur Radio, we invite you to join us every Tuesday evening from 7:30 p.m. as we embark on the most needed quest to remove the tentacles of corruption from our systems. See you then for our latest program called Governance, Corruption and Justice.
With your Monday, March 12th news at noon, I am Joshua Van Sleckman. Thank you for joining us. Oil will come and go, but if a country truly intends to capitalize on this resource in the long term, its best bet would be to invest in earning from the new resource in the nation's traditional agriculture sector. This is according to Dr. Terence Blackman, Associate Professor of Mathematics at the Medgar Evers College, New York, USA, during a recent interview with Kaieteur Radio's Guyana's Oil and New moderator, Kiana Wilberg. Ms. Wilberg was at the time inquiring into Professor Blackman's view on the matter of diversification of the country's earning base using the newfound oil and gas wealth. Professor Blackman noted that while he thinks agriculture is an important sector, it has not always been an appealing prospect for very many people in the country. Be that as it may, the US-based Guyanese said it must be recognized that the food import bill for the region alone represents an enormous opportunity for the country. Professor Blackman recalled that at the time he addressed his mind to the matter of Guyana's spending of its oil resources, the region's food import bill was at some $4 billion US. He posited that were Guyana to tap into just 10% of that, it would mean earning some $400 million US annually, and that is the opportunity we have as a nation at this moment. We have this money, but this money is not going to last. These heinous killings were so disturbing that Kaieteur Radio saw it fit to highlight 10 of them that sparked outrage amongst Guyanese from all walks of life. While cops have managed to crack the cases, the families of these homicide victims still wait patiently to see the perpetrators face prosecution. You can read that in today's Kaieteur News, and the story is titled 10 Most Gruesome Murders in 2020 Still to be Prosecuted. Moving on with your main newscast right here on Kaieteur Radio. Guyana has set above the development of its emerging oil and gas industry following the discovery of commercial quantities of hydrocarbons in the Stabroek block more than 5 years ago. But it appears that the time being that young Guyanese are not that enthused by the oil boom. What is also daunting is the fact that this lack of interest is directed to other extractive sectors too. Making this troubling observation was Natural Resources Minister Vikram Bharat, who over the weekend oversaw the commencement of a Natural Resources Apprenticeship Program. That initiative is aimed at capitalizing on the opportunity to explore various fields of the sector through training. The pioneer batch of participants selected were told on Saturday at the opening ceremony hosted at the Arthur Chung Convention Center that it is against this backdrop he was encouraging them not to limit themselves academically. Addressing the young interns, Barrett noted that you need to know where you want to go, and you are at the stage in your life where that becomes an issue, where that becomes a problem. Most, he said, may be pondering what career path to take, while adding that there seems to be little interest in joining the extractives sector and opting instead for business-aligned career paths. Minister Barrett lamented, "I don't know if they don't see it as a fashionable or a trend, but they are more into the business accounting field." He noted, however, that this only redounds in the disadvantage to the said industries. Since rejecting a proposal by her ex-lover, who recently got out of prison to rekindle their relationship, a mother of 6 has been living in constant fear that each day might very well be her last. From the moment she turned him down, the woman said her former partner has been using his free time to emotionally torture her. During an interview with Kaieteur Radio, Sandy, not her real name, and a school teacher and a part-time bread vendor, stated that 39-year-old Stratvo Evans of Alboystown, Georgetown, has been harassing her in person and over the phone. This newscast understands that Sandy and Evans had shared a 2-year relationship before the former ended, same on the grounds of abuse. According to police reports on October 18, 2019, the woman had informed the police that Evans was threatening to kill her after she ended their romance. You're listening to us right here on Kaieteur Radio 99.1 and 99.5 FM. When we return, DJ stab selectors face during argument in radio station. Region 8 residents forced to use creek waters, UWI still to complete 5 million well. And 9 months later, police yet to arrest prime suspect in a Kurukaruru pensioners' murder.
This is GHK Lal inviting you to join me weekdays from Monday to Friday on the National Outlook for commentary on a range of issues. Immediately after the 12 noon and 7 p.m. newscasts on Kaieteur Radio at 99.1 FM and 99.5 FM. Looking forward to you sharing in the conversation.
Welcome back. Thank you for joining us. DJ Roald Gold is now on the run after he stabbed his selector to the face on Saturday with a broken bottle. During an argument they had in a local radio station, Kaieteur Radio learned that the wounded selector goes by the name of Yannick. The stabbing incident reportedly took place at around 20 hours 45 in the Hits and Jams radio studio located in Queenstown, Georgetown. According to police, Yannick was allegedly stabbed 4 times. The victim told investigators that when he arrived at the studio, he began talking with Raw Gold, but their conversation reportedly erupted into an argument over work. Things became physical, and after Raw Gold located a bottle, broke it, and dealt Yannick stabs to his face before escaping. The injured man was then taken to the Georgetown Public Hospital Corporation by persons who witnessed the incident. He received stitches for his wounds and was sent away. It has been 5 months since a standstill was placed on works for a 5.1 million water well to service the community of El Paso in Region 8, leaving the residents without access to proper water. The water well was left incomplete since last November when residents had complained of the substandard works done by the contractor employed through the Guyana Water Incorporated, GWI. Kaieteur Radio understands that the community has received no word from GWI on the completion of the well. Residents had reached out to this newscast lamenting that the water well was only partially serviceable and was only providing a school within the community with water, leaving the rest of the community without. The enraged residents also referred to the situation as quote-unquote total disrespect to hard-earned taxpayers' dollars and called for a faster resolution. 9 months after the murder of Terence Asram, 66, at his Kuru farmhouse, his killer is yet to be captured by police. In fact, detectives are still chasing lead to ascertain who committed the act. His body was discovered by one of his sons around 22 hours 30 on July 10, 2020. It is believed that he was probably lured out of his house to meet his killer based on where the body was found. A photo seen by this media house showed that his lifeless body was found a short distance away from his farmhouse. The last word Kaieteur had heard from the police on this case were no new developments, investigations are still ongoing. His family is hopeful that detectives can make a breakthrough in the case as soon as possible. You're listening to us right here on Kaieteur Radio 99.1 and 99.5 FM. Time check for you 12 hours 11 in Guyana and right across the Eastern Caribbean. We turn our attention to your COVID-19 updates. According to Worldometer, your coronavirus cases worldwide stands at 136.8 million, with 200.9 million deaths and 110 million recovered cases worldwide. And just before I wrap things up here on your main newscast, let me turn our attention to page 7 of the Kaieteur News that is dedicated to being blunt. In Guyana, politicians act as though their IQ is on par with the 2-year-olds. They have no clue as to what the energy matrix for this country should look. Yet, they want an approximately $1 billion gas-to-shore project. They want hydro. They want solar. They want all without studies and plans to justify their decision. Guyanese, you must decide whether you will allow the PPPC Guyana, you must decide whether you allow the PPPC to lead you blindly into accepting all these projects or if you will demand studies to be done first. Only you have the power to determine the fate of today's generation and those to come. And with that, we've come to the end of your main newscast right here on Kaieteur Radio 99.1 and 99.5 FM. Let's remind you that you can get the full details of these stories and much more by picking up a copy of the Kaieteur News at a newsstand near you or head across to our website at kaieteurnewsonline.com. I am Joshua Van Sleckman. Thank you for joining us. Have a great remainder of your Monday afternoon, encouraging you to practice social distancing and to wear your face mask. We tell you now that before we bring to you the National Outlook with GHK Lal, we will return to the rebroadcast of the Glenn Lal Show. Immediately after that, the National Outlook with GHK Lal will begin. Thank you for joining us.
Want value for your advertising dollar? Then place your ads on Kaieteur Radio's newscasts. Streamed live on 6 different mediums, reaching hundreds of thousands. Advertise today.